That's here, 111 to 102. The T-Wolves go to 4-2. The Lakers 0-5. The Lakers go 9 for 29 from three. The T-Wolves 13 of 40. 22 turnovers for the Lakers turned into 25 points. LeBron led the Lakers with 28. He's speaking with Mike in the locker room.
LeBron, Darvin cited the turnovers to start for the team. It's another new starting lineup. It seemed which kind of happened a lot last year, right? AD was out. Russ moves to the second unit. How do you try and lead guys into some form of cohesion in those kind of situations, and how key was that tonight?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a fine line between, unforced turnovers and turnovers as you're just being aggressive and trying to make plays happen. So, we had some, that's quite a few unforced turnovers. Some of the aggressive ones I can be okay with, but we just got to do a better job of that.
You talked oftentimes about seeing it all in the league at this point, but it's an 0-5 start for various reasons. So what do you try to focus on as you try to get the team out of it?
Try to get better, continue to play winning basketball. I think our offense is just, is harming us right now. I think defensively, once again, we had a great game plan. We went out and competed, gave ourselves a chance. A couple possessions here, a couple possessions there, didn't go our way, but just keep hammering on.
What was it like for you to see Darvin go with that closing lineup, considering Minnesota's size? Like, does that give you? Troy Brown said gave him confidence that Darvin would, kind of go with something like that that's maybe out of the box a little bit.
We're just trying to find what works right now. To be honest, it doesn't matter who's out on the floor. We're just trying to find what works, what can give us the best chance to win a ball game. So, I think that's what Coach went with, and we was all. Everybody who's on the floor was just ready.
Darvin praised Russ's effort off the bench. Said really it was a fantastic game from him.
Yeah.
What did you see out of Russ today?
It was great.
LeBron, does that energy that he had directing that bench unit, did that carry over, especially when you think about the end of the
He was great. And it definitely catapulted to us. He was great all game.
Do you feel 0-5 weighing on the energy in this room at all? Or?
Yes. Only after the game it is. It's human nature. I mean, obviously after the game. But, earlier today we came in with great energy. We had great energy during shoot-around. We had great energy throughout the game. After the game, none of us want to lose. So, yeah, the energy is down.
Like cumulative sort of build, you don't think, from sort of day-to-day with it?
No.
Do you feel for AD, considering he's had the injuries the last couple of years, he really made a vow to want to be in the lineup as much as possible this year?
Of course.
And he has this.
Of course. You guys know how I feel about AD, so of course.
So, how can he manage that?
He has to do his best for his body. Do his best for his body and his mind. When his mind is gone, then everything else will fall to the wayside. So, he has to trust himself. He has to, yes, he wants to play every game. Yes, he wants to be out there for our team, but he's had a lot of bumps and bruises over the last few years. So he has to trust himself, trust his staff, and not put his body in harm's way.
Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, Derek Fisher, Big Game James Worthy, Mike Bresnahan, Allie Clifton will be joining us in a little bit. We got Mike Trudell covering the postgame out in Minnesota. Lakers lose to the T-Wolves, and for just the third time in franchise history, the Los Angeles Lakers start 0-5. Kind of a tough way to get things going here to start off the 2022-23 season. No AD. And another game where they are right there to win. Big game. Just don't get it done. Execution-wise.
0-4, you're desperate for a win. You're going there without one of your bigger guns, AD. Still played fairly well. It was a winnable game, in my opinion. I mean, the one thing that cost them was the 25 points that they gave up off the turnovers. 22 turnovers, not being able to, take advantage of the moments when they were down maybe 2 or 3, or maybe had a lead 2 or 3 points, and not being able to execute by turning it over just cost them, big time. I thought, from a team point of view, they played fairly well. The bench came in and scored and held up and sustained, but turnovers and, the inability to make stops, too, down. Gobert is a big problem in the paint. That was the game to me, the turnovers, mostly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're turning the basketball over, which we touched on at halftime, I think 11 at the half, 11 more in the second half. It's just a recipe for disaster. And I don't know, what the stats will show in NBA history on the road. If you turn the ball over 20-plus times, your winning percentage is probably going to be pretty low. Yeah. Some of that, though, is like great offensive efficiency comes from a level of continuity and connection as a team, which is difficult to have continuity when one of your best players is out. Different starting lineups. Russ coming in off the bench. Troy Brown Jr. being in the lineup. Dennis Schroeder's out. All of these things that it makes it impossible really for the team to develop the continuity, connection, so that some of those turnovers that come from just understanding where each other is going to be, how you like to receive the basketball, who can catch what passes, those are difficult things early in the season with new guys. With all of those things being said, it's the NBA, and you still have to figure out a way to win. There have been a number of games that they could have won so far, and just continue to come up short. But they can't give up on who they are and where they're trying to go.
Guys, I'm going to predict what Darvin Ham is going to say in a few minutes. I like the effort, I like the enthusiasm. As D-Fish, as you indicated, a lot of moving parts in this Laker lineup. Russ off the bench, I thought was interesting. He didn't shoot real well, probably had a few too many turnovers, but I have a feeling he's going to start coming off the bench for a while now, because there was just enough there to see the old Russ kind of being that blurry figure, scrambling up and down the court. I think that's where he's best on this team. But just such a struggle to score points. Mm-hmm. They're dead last in the NBA at 102.3 points a game. What they scored tonight, 102. So just kind of a little bit of the same movie with some different characters in it tonight. I like the effort. If I'm the Lakers, they're finally shooting threes better. Guys, they got over 30% for the first time this season, but just couldn't quite get enough points against a solid Minnesota team.
Yeah, I've said this before, too, guys. You don't want to be dead last in this, especially when it's a negative stat, 3-point percentage, overall points. And then we talked about the 0-5 start and how many times that's happened in franchise history. You'll see right here, it's only the third time that it's ever happened. So this is, unfamiliar territory. It happened in 57-58. They started 0-7. In 2014-15, they started 0-5. In 2015-16, they started 0-4. So we've seen over the last 8-9 seasons, there have been some difficult times. Three-point shooting has been a big one. Best of the year, actually, still only 31%, but you see the trend of less threes. They were 9 for 29. They were still minus 12 in that category. But big game, I think you hit it on the head. When you go on the road, and Fish even said, I don't know what the percentages are, but when you're going to turn that ball over 22 times and it's going to lead to 25 points, 22 fast break points, it's tough to win on the road.
Yeah.
Because they did a lot of good things also.
Yeah,
but
anywhere, home or away, but particularly on the road, when you're giving the crowd and the home team energy and momentum, it's hard to recapture those moments. But yeah, I mean, this is a team that, like Brad said, the inability to score and take care of the basketball is, that's an ingredient that's going to make your cake taste a little nasty. You know what I mean? So, they just for a while there in the second quarter, the ball was moving. LeBron was out of the game. Had some new faces in there. And it was moving pretty good. They were getting some opportunities, but not being able to take care of the basketball, and like we said, not being able to execute to get buckets when you need them in those last 3 minutes when the game was still there for a win. Just not there tonight.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to lead you to this, Fish, because I think when you lose these kinds of games and you're 0-5 and you're looking at last few possessions or you're looking at moments in the game, as James just talked about, the spotlight is on that. I had written this down when we were watching the game. It was 83-80 with just under 10 minutes to play, and the Lakers got themselves back in that game, and they were playing well, and there was an up and down pace going on, and there were 3 opportunities for the Lakers. Yep. A couple missed layups, a couple missed threes. T-Wolves end up hitting the 3. It goes to 86-80. James, we call timeout. Lakers come out, miss a 3, Fish, and then it's another bucket. Now it's 88-80. And I know that's just a short minute 30, Fish, but it just kind of symbolizes where they are this year.
Yeah, it really does. The margin for error is really small early in this season. when you are struggling to score the basketball, if you miss an opportunity to score at the rim, or a pass gets bobbled and it just throws off the timing.